all around the world. She and Dan Liu co-position and represent Southeast Asia. So what Jane shared, totally my mistake, was South Asia. That was a report. So I know many of you are like, wait a minute, she's talking about South Asia. You were totally right, I was wrong, and Joyce is going to continue to help us see with Southeast Asia, totally different continent and part of the world. So, without further ado, Joyce Tan.
As I say, I love Southeast Asia. Actually, Dan and I represent Asia Pacific, which included SPA, Mark Timlin's presentation. But I just want to say I love Southeast Asia. Let me get my clicker. And one of the reasons is because we are a region of diversity. So I'm going to have the privilege of sharing highlights only of the diverse strengths of each of our 6 entities. Okay, we're going to share about Japan, Thailand, Cambodia, Malaysia, Indonesia, and then ending with my country, Singapore. Okay, the key program of Hoverwide Japan is actually the Employment Support Center in Shibuya. 6 years ago, they actually opened Shibuya Marufuku, which is a bakery that makes delicious goodies. We've sampled. And this year, they actually added another part, which is Atelier Fuka. It's actually a handmade artisan accessory shop. And the thing they all have in common is that these 2 businesses actually employ 31 persons with disabilities. And this is supported by the government funding. Amazing work. In Hoverwide, Thailand, they basically focus on computer training. In these 2 centers, the Computer Training Center and Kred Trakam Protection Center, and also at the school Bayan Chonatopong Home for disabled children, they actually help teach on a weekly basis computer skill training so that the young children actually have a future in education. Amen. Yes. Okay. Actually, 2018 was an incredible year in Hoverwide in Cambodia. As you can see, they are focused on medicine, but in a country where it was devastated and had the most devastating genocide, where 25% of the population were killed, and the medicine was no longer available, they have actually focused on giving affordable and quality medical care. And the 3 centers are Sahana Hospital, Center of Hope, the 3 medical centers, and also Sonia Kil Memorial Hospital. What they have done in this 2018 is they, together, all 3 have impacted and had 229,000 patient consultations. That's a lot, okay? Give a clap. They also, at the Sonia Kil Memorial Hospital, have delivered 714 babies in 2014. Also, in the 3 medical centers, they have had over 1,000 surgeries. Financially, they are on a big scale. They have an annual budget of $12 million. Does that come out? Yep. Okay. And up to date, their goal is actually to become self-supporting, and they are doing incredible. The 3 medical centers are actually set up to be fees, they charge fees on a scale, and basically they donated $3 million to the Sahana Hospital so it can give free services, and they have sponsored $2 million for their own patients who are financially in need. What an incredible quality and affordable rate. I want to boast now about Hoverwide Malaysia, which is next to Singapore. They have done an incredible work and were so creative in developing their CSR partnerships. They are known, there's a Muslim country, and they are known to basically build such great relationships with people like Mary Kay, like Starbucks, like DoubleTree, like KFC, Pizza Hut, regularly, and through those partnerships they actually serve underprivileged families, they serve slums, They also serve indigenous communities outside of KL. And not only that, they also are known for being creative with their fundraisers. For those of you who know, in our side of the world, football is soccer, and they have the World Cup, which is FIFA, and every 4 years they have what they call a bowl-a-thon, and all the disciples and their friends and their corporate sponsors walk and masquerade in all forms of bowl-a-thon masquerade, as you can see. So they are just so creative with this area, and they partner with Adidas. Now I would like to take the last part of my time to share about 2 programs and the power of partnership. In Hopewell, Indonesia, in a country where 14%, make sure I'm reading my stats right, 14% of the child population actually live below the poverty line. And 40 out of 1,000 actually die before they actually reach the age of 5. So picture those of us who have kids, not seeing our kids after 5. They also have many kids who are malnourished, and those who are malnourished do not usually abandon school because they can't even go to school. As a result, Hope Hawaii Indonesia decided to partner with an organization called Generali, and they developed the Human Safety Net program for families in Indonesia since 2018. And what I'd like to do is they actually focus specifically on children 0 to 6 to give them a head start. They provide education, care, and also development. They also focus on providing support for the parents and the families, and so that way they're educated and they know how to follow through and help their kids reach the point where they can actually go to school. So I'd like to actually take this time to show a brief clip of an interview with Miss Lily Salim of Hope Hawaii Indonesia in Venice just this last month. Great IT support. While they're getting the
They bring hope and change lives in communities. Of course, we are not know everything, but the people, the communities, the one who knows their needs and also cry for help. This family, Sugiarto in Jakarta, a trash picker, lived on top of a rubbish bin. The wife joined the program, and it brings changes to the marriage and also the family. They have connection with the family, and also the children can join the childhood program and also go to school. And now, with the financial inclusion program, the husband now, Sugiarto, already can sell big balls and save some money. And hopefully, in 2 months from now, they can have their own small hut where they can live as a family.
It's quite amazing how Sorianto's family was empowered and can come out of poverty. Now I'd like to boast about my country, which is Singapore. I just want to say I love the partnership that we have with the Central Christian Church, which is a 1,200 member strong congregation. In a country where I want to share about the impact that we have had because of this partnership. In a country where elderly is growing, and by 2030, there will be 1 out of 4 who are elderly in the population. We've been able to impact over 1,000 seniors with the volunteers from the church. In a country where families are actually stressed and disconnected, we actually have 700 parents from the community empowered through good enough parenting programs. We also, with the church being our biggest support of volunteers, last month had a fundraiser where we raised through tin can collections and also pledge card over a month with a one-to-one matching grant from the government, a one-time this year. We were able to raise 530,000 Singapore dollars, which in your equivalent is 373,000 US, for all our local programs. And this is just a sheet to show in our church that we have been encouraging all ministries volunteer on a yearly, monthly, or quarterly basis. It's broken up by their groups, so you see the parents, the Chinese ministry, the Golden Ministry even volunteer, the teens, the campus, etc. And I love this partnership. In fact, last month, Hua-hee, our lead evangelist, actually had a 3-week sermon on loving the poor and needy and gave a call to the disciples for everyone to increase their volunteerism, to be more like Jesus, and to volunteer 6 times a year, every other month. I really appreciate that support. Truly, we, as a Hope Worldwide in Southeast Asia and Asia Pacific, we basically are grateful for all the partnerships we have with the church and their volunteers, with our corporates and the government, with the community, and with all of you. Thank you so much for your support. We believe that we are change makers in Singapore, and we believe that we will all go out and be change makers where we are in our nations. Thank you so much.